All right, in this demo, we kind of build on top of the previous demo around ad hoc discovery, and we looked at how to announce when services enter and leave the network. In other words, when a service joins the network, sending a message letting the world essentially know that it's available, and then when it leaves the network, actually having the courtesy to let everybody know that it is no longer available to serve service requests. So let's actually take a look at advanced ad hoc discovery. So here I have two projects. On the service side, I basically have my same very simple WCF service. Focus on the configuration because that's really all that's important. I have my endpoint kind here of UDP discovery endpoint. So the service is still available for responding to probe requests. But now we've added some advanced capabilities here. In addition to service discovery, we've now defined an announcement endpoint. And we've used the UDP announcement endpoint kind. And this is the service behavior that's going to provide that interception-based approach to announcing when the service comes up and announcing when the service comes down. So let me actually go ahead and deploy this to IIS. Great. So now I want to show you the code for the announcement service client. The announcement service client is actually pretty simple. As we look through the code at Code Camp, we have this new type called announcement service, which is part of the system.service-model.discovery namespace. This is actually a WCF service who listens for announcements. So it's kind of a utility service or an infrastructure service, if you will. I simply register for two events. I want to know when new services come online, and I want to know when services come offline. And so I have an event handler, a delegate here, that will simply write out that the service that has announced itself has either joined or left the network. And that's really all there is to it. So the purpose of this service, once it's hosted using just standard WCF hosting, is to basically listen for these announcements when a service joins the network and when a service leaves the network. So let's go ahead and fire this service up. We'll self-host it. And he is just there, listening on the local subnet. So we deployed my service to IIS. Let's go ahead and activate that service. Okay, so now we should see that WCF Demo3 wax service 1.svc has joined the network. Okay, now as you can imagine, if you're implementing a announcement service, you probably want to maintain some kind of a backing store, some kind of a list around what services are available and not, so that maybe you could use that information for other consumers that are maybe looking to you as maybe a registry for what services are available or not. So you have the the plumbing and the infrastructure to be able to do that. So the service has joined the network and announced itself once we activated it. Now let's actually bring down the service, and I'll just use a real big brute force approach for doing that. I'll call IIS reset, shutting down IIS, and sure enough, the service basically sends a suicide note, if you will, letting the network know that its days are numbered and it's out of here. So that is the announcement service capability of being able to receive announcements from services as they join and as they leave. It's a very powerful building block for taking WS Discovery one step further.